members because they can vote, so we want anybody else who's in the gallery or audience members or visitors to stay back there so we can discern who's voting and who's not. All right, let's go ahead and get started with public comment. We've got 10 minutes for public comment. Right, thank you.
And Whitney, there's a microphone in the back.
Where is it? Oh, okay. All right, so there is a microphone in the back. Oh, it's loose on the table if anybody needs it, if you have trouble projecting. Anyone in the gallery, any visitors today who have anything to say?
Morning.
Jacob and then the
Thank you, Denise.
Switch on the side, turn it up.
You're good.
And remember to announce for yourself and what county you're from, just so we have an idea.
Jacob Riley, I'm the county chair of Warren County. I've been hearing some ramblings here and there about maybe a hybrid meeting or a hybrid convention this year. I have a problem. My problem is I have spent the last 6 months in my county talking about a return to normal against mask mandates, against vaccine mandates, stuff like this. And I would find it very hypocritical for us as a party to fight against these things and talk against these things, and then turn around at the same time and not even hold an abnormal convention for our own party. I don't think it necessarily makes us look the best, and I believe that it will hurt not only my county, but the guy recruiting in the county, but also recruiting the party as a whole.
I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I just want everybody to know I've done some thinking, and I just want to announce I'm going to be running for vice chair at the state party in 2022. So if you all have questions, anything you want to talk to me about, I'm sure that some people want to pry my brain about it, so I'll be available for lunch. So just want to let you know that.
Thank you. Anyone else? Public comment from the gallery. All right. On to the adoption of the agenda. There were no changes made since the proposed one a couple weeks ago. It is, well, it's in the forum. Staff members should have seen it. Are you, I'm going to support that. Standard officer reports, staff reports, and then budget.
Arthur Thomas, 2026. I move to adopt the agenda.
All right, I'm going to motion to adopt the agenda as proposed. Any objections to adopting the agenda for today? There are no objections. We have an agenda. All right, next is the approval of the previous meeting's minutes. Those also have been posted in the forum. Arthur Thomas.
I move to adopt the minutes.
Were you going to second this?
I was going to make the motion until I saw what Arthur was doing. So I can see we're looking for someone to do so.
So are you going to second it?
Yes.
The previous meeting's minutes have been moved and seconded. Is there any objection to adopting those minutes and seconded? All right, there's no objection. The previous meeting's minutes are adopted. Killing. All right, next thing, going into officer reports. Mine is going to be short and sweet this time. The departments, for the most part, can cover a lot of what I would say anyway, so we'll let them do that. Just sort of an overview of personnel and organization right now. We've continuing to add staff. We've got someone right now we're looking at for elections analyst. I think only needs one interview left. All right. My goal for that particular position is someone not only who can help analyze previous election data, but also help us look toward finding races where we would have a better chance of either winning and or making an impact and getting lots of attention that way. So that'll be something we do moving forward. We have, we do not have an IT director. I've seen no reason for an IT director up until this point. We don't have an ops director. There are a couple reasons why we don't have an ops director. But those things I'm considering actually rolling IT up into the operations department. It only has 2 positions right now, both of them are being handled fine. When we move over to the CRM, that will require an additional staff person. So I'll probably be making some adjustments to the org chart, proposing those to you soon. The legal advisory team that I had put together a while back had 5 people on it. We are down to 3 people now. So Donovan, who I don't think is here today. There you are. I was gonna say, you should be here. Liz Miller, and then Mark Ash out of Houston. So those people continue to be there. And at this time, we do still have, we've been fortunate to have not officially retained, but still have with us Jared LeBlanc as our counsel for any lawsuits that we might be choosing to enter into, and also now one of his partners, whose name is Adam Russ. And both of them should be with us this evening. I know Joe's excited. Outreach stuff. I have decided that I really want to, and this was at the urging of Judith Bruder, who I don't see here, really wanting to start looking at the coalition building thing again that we used to have. We've got a couple that are still in place. The only one that I know of that actually does stuff and puts our logo on things is not Marijuana Policy Project.
Texans for responsible marijuana.
There you go. Texans for Responsible Marijuana Legislation, which was Heather. Yes, so that one we know still exists. We've actually been to the Capitol and seen our new logo on things that they're putting out. So I am working right now to try to recover whatever parts of that coalition program we used to use that were good, and try to incorporate some new things into getting these coalitions built. I know that Renee Perez, the work that he's doing in Austin, we've made some contacts with people who are interested in engaging with us that way. So that is something that I'm making a priority right now. And hope to come back to you in the near future on the forum with some related information there. And I would say that, just so you know, what was Vote Texas Gold, I think now is just Texas Gold. I think they're moving in that direction. Texas Gold, that's the one that I'll probably be working on first, assuming that it's allowable by law and whatever.
That name change will allow them to do more.
Exactly. I think that's a little forward thinking there. I attended, actually got back yesterday from the Atlas Society Gala in California, where I was able to meet a lot of people. I was there actually representing the National Party, which is a huge benefit to us. So killing lots of birds with one stone if I can. I had the pleasure of meeting a Texan there who has run for office for us for a while and is actually on our mailing list, but doesn't actually come around and participate. His name is John Davis, someone for us to know. Anyway, that was a really good experience and made a lot of contacts there, and hope to nurture and cultivate those for us. Obviously, continuing to add county chairs. We've got lots of people interested in being candidates. As those interest forms come in, I am sending them to Billy and to Ted. I need to get with you about one that I heard from a couple days ago. And the one that came in last night, that's very exciting. Nathan Watts, who would normally be giving you all the details about that, is not here today, unfortunately. Federal lawsuit, I've already posted the latest update in the forum, so you've got that, so we're not gonna have Oliver speak to us today. I will be updating you also on the forum with regard to any potential legislation that we are going to be proposing. Regional trainings that National did, I had the opportunity to attend the Region 7 one, which was really good. It was in Shreveport. If you guys did not get a chance to attend that, that is unfortunate, but hopefully we're going to do it again. At the National Convention, they intend to have a track. Thank you, Liz brought her binder. At the National Convention, they plan to have a sort of a training track that incorporates the things that they taught for candidates, people who work on campaigns, as well as just people who want to work in affiliate leadership. I also went to the Atlantic City one and got to deliver part of that training, which was really fun. Reminded me of having a black. John Wilford, I hope will cover much more of the LNC related things later on in his report. All right, and that's all I have for my time anyway. Next is Vice Chair.
All right, mine is short and sweet as well, mostly because this has been a pretty hectic 3 months. I can't believe that it's actually been 3 months since our last meeting. Most of my time this last quarter has been spent focused on the event for this evening, as well as some of the opportunities I've had in my role at National. I was involved with the affiliate trainings that went on as well. I traveled to Atlanta, Shreveport, and Indianapolis for those. And they were fantastic, and I know a lot of Texans were at the Shreveport one. If you weren't able to attend, find someone who was, share their notes, especially if you're planning on being a candidate or if you're just trying to get an affiliate off the ground. There's a lot of good information in there. And I was also able to attend the 50th anniversary of the celebration of the Libertarian Party in Denver, Colorado, and the LNC meeting in Louisville. So I have been on the road quite a lot, which has been hectic but really good and making a lot of good connections anywhere that I can. As far as my general things that I update you on every time, there's still been a lot of interviewing of county chairs and staff, although Nathan has taken a lot of the county chair stuff off my plate this last month, which was really helpful. And focusing on just helping where I can, both in events as well as communications from time to time, development when necessary, and these office relations. Future priorities are 100% on convention 2022. Any questions?
You're always gonna have fun.
Alright. So I'll keep it short. I went to a different training up in Iowa with Chris, and it did a great job. So thank you for everybody who was delivering trainings. It was great, and I'm just gonna echo what Becca said. If you didn't get a chance to attend, get with somebody who did. It's definitely worthwhile sharing notes. The other thing that I've been up to, just to keep it quick, as I told these ladies, I was been working on the job descriptions, researching based on what other organizations similarly situated to us do. That doesn't just mean in the political forums, that includes nonprofits and other orgs in similar sizes and situations. Figure my background in HR is somewhat helpful here. So hopefully we'll get that done, that's my future priority. It's been a while since they've been touched, so it's a bit of a project. And that's it. Questions? Okay, I'm done.
Alright, and on to the treasurer's report.
All right, buckle up. 5 minutes, right? Actually, I think I might try to make this short and sweet. I'm gonna go ahead and just tell you guys what I was doing this quarter. I did not get to make the Shreveport training, even though I said in the last one that was my goal. It just happened to fall in a period of 3 weeks when I ended up having to take a personal hiatus from treasurer duties. Everything's back up and running, but I will say I did let one thing slip in the 3 weeks that I just had to take a step back. There was an email informing us that we had to, there's no auto renew for our Echo Sign, Adobe Echo Sign for digital signing documents. And I thought, just like everything else that we have, it auto renews every year, and apparently it did not. And so we were out without that for about 2 or 3 weeks. Got us signed back up, but it's not for Echo Sign, it's for something else. But we're still able to have a service back up and running. David's got what he needs. Wants has got what he needs to get those special documents signed. So I do want to apologize for letting that slip, but in the end, it actually saved us a little bit more money. So I guess even when I mess up, like, it save us money. I've been working on BitPay. I was really hoping that I was going to be able to announce that it was live and ready to go this weekend. Unfortunately, BitPay is still looking into us to make sure we are who we are. And I don't know if anybody is familiar with having to work with cryptocurrency financial businesses, except my own, They are extremely difficult to actually talk to somebody. You can only basically do help tickets and cross your fingers that they actually respond. I have probably processed about, I'd say, over a dozen help tickets with no responses from them. But I've been told over and over again, that's just how they operate. And even if you go to a competitor, you're gonna be dealing with the same thing. So I'm just basically playing the waiting game for BitPay to authorize our tiers and allow us to accept cryptocurrency. And it can happen any day. In fact, I haven't checked my email, so I could get an email today saying that we are live, and it's not during the treasurer's report. So I will announce that as soon as we're live to accept cryptocurrency, which will be a really big deal for us.
Lisa, where are you gonna announce that? Just how much?
Well, right now, we actually have the button on our donation page for BitPay, but if you click on it right now, it says this merchant cannot currently accept cryptocurrency, please reach out to the merchant. It's because, again, like, we're waiting. So it's ready to go as soon as they give us the green light. I'll probably announce on Discord, in the forum, and then if I don't know if Nathan, you and I can get together on something on a campaign that says we accept Bitcoin, because that's gonna be a huge thing for us. I think we're gonna be racking in a lot more donations through cryptocurrency once we get that going. With that said, I'll take questions at the end. With that said, other than that, there really wasn't much to report. John is up to speed with how I have structured our financial software and our system and how everything integrates, and he has been a tremendous help since getting him trained up and active in his role as bookkeeper. It has been incredible. It made my 3-week hiatus away from duties so much more easy. Like, I was able to come back and I didn't feel stressed or anxious because I'm going to repeat this. Treasurer's job doesn't end. It is day to day. And you can't just finish a project, step back, and be like, I'll wait till the next project, or wait till I'm ready for the next project. It is day by day, and again, like, if I step away for 3 weeks, I miss an email. So, John has been a tremendous help in that role. We may look again, maybe towards with BitPay coming in and Lifetime and all this other stuff coming in, I might be asking for another bookkeeper maybe in the new year. So we'll look into that. I think that's about it for what I have done. I am going to pause for a moment before I get into the numbers with any questions about what I said. Yes?
Joe Roberts, SD23. I know we talked a little bit about this last time, so when they're paying BitPay, are we converting that to US dollars?
We are having to convert it straight from USD, and BitPay will be taking a 1% for whatever is donated.
So was there any progress? Because we discussed, I don't remember last meeting, the prospect of just keep holding it in for.
We can't yet.
Right.
We can't, because we can't hold any investment income or make any investment income, because that will trigger an FEC filing and having to deal with the IRS. And I don't know if my sanity is there yet. I don't think anybody's sanity is in here for that, ready for that yet. But it is something I am going to continue questioning, because it will be a benefit to the party if our income can grow. But at the same time, and maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm going to look into another bookkeeper, because if we have our TEC and then I have a bookkeeper that can focus on FEC and investment income and that kind of stuff, then it won't be so bad for the financial department to take care of. So that's kind of the goal. So I am forward thinking into that. So thank you for your question. Any other questions on anything I talked about? Okay, I'm going to go into numbers. If you have the treasurer's report up, our bank balances are there. That's as of 11/2. We did grow general account, obviously, by a whole lot because of our fantastic Lifetime new membership level, which has just been incredible. Supplemental accounts, basically same thing. Legal fund, I think, increased by $100. Legislative action fund increased a little over 1,000, thanks to people actually having monthly subscriptions to the legislative action fund. I'm hoping that maybe we can launch something like that for legal funds soon, because we didn't have that set up then. Convention savings, obviously, we're gonna see come down a little bit. We have spent $15,000 out of that. And that will be obviously more in detail in Tim's events department report. And reserve fund is still over 10,000. Income breakdown, as you can see, we saw in September a huge spike, again, dealing with membership, the lifetime. And same thing with August, you're gonna see that, I mean, it doubled July, and then almost doubled in September from August. We're still seeing that. We're still going to see a big push in membership income as lifetime membership payments are coming in, and we are seeing new, even full amount lifetimes coming in as well. And then of course we've got our events, big blue block right there for this event. It's been nice to see our income growing. I'm not going to go specifically into the active budget. Hopefully you guys have done your homework, and I'll open up for questions later. But what I would like to do is I would like to rectify a couple of things, and these two things that I would like for your immediate attention, it will also kind of go into the proposed budget. So if we want to discuss that now, we can. I do want to slash basically the set number for credit card processing fees. And I want to add a line item for BitPay processing, because again, that's going to happen at any moment. The reason why I want to slash a set number is because it is that budget, or that expense line item is directly relevant to the income in. I can't always project how much of income we are going to have. I mean, lifetime was a big hit. So because of that, we are currently overspending credit card processing. That should never be the case. I should not have to come back every quarter and go, hey guys, can we just have this motion, and I'm gonna pull a number out of my ass, and this is the number I want you to go for. Like, we need to stop doing that. We need to actually just have it set to where it's 5% relevant to the income coming in, and that way I don't have to bother you with these cleanup motions. And this is something that I'm going to be proposing, obviously, in the 2022 budget report as well, to keep things clean and nice. Yes?
Would it be in order to make a motion for that first,
Yes, and yes, I have that. I don't know if, Arthur's probably gonna say he's gonna butcher it, so I'm just gonna say my motion real quick. Oh, is it? Okay, great, yeah, that. So Arthur, what would you like to change in that?
It's also right here.
Okay. Well, if anybody agrees with that, then we'll just go with that, because I think as simple as it sounds, it does state what it's meant to do.
We're all FT 17, I move to adopt the proposed amendment number 1.
All right, this is a
Second.
motion to adopt the amendment to allow for the line item credit card processing fees to grow proportionally at a rate of 5% to income generated by that manner.
First comments, Mrs. Empty.
It was seconded. Are there any objections to this motion? Hearing no objections. Are you objecting?
Point of inquiry, question.
Yes.
So that's the agreement that we get now for the new processing?
Well, the percentage is more like about 3.5%, but I just like to round things up so things look nice and pretty, and yeah, you'll start seeing that with more of my numbers. And the same thing when we come to bid pay. So.
Thank you.
All right.
Are you objecting?
I just realized that we should add unauthorized.
Right here to this line?
It's amending the budget for a new
So
expense
you are
officer.
seeking to amend this amendment? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Move to
Yeah.
amend
Well, how should it
the
read?
motion to what?
And to authorize the expenditure. That was for
Just add and to authorize.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And to authorize what?
Yeah, we'll get to change.
Okay, we have a motion to amend, to add the words, basically just not only approving this change of the 5% rate, but also authorizing the expenditure of those funds. The way our budget is set up and the policies there related to it, not only do we approve a budget, but we also have to authorize any expenses, sort of as a package. So that's what Arthur is attempting to do in this case, is just add that authorization into this amendment. So, basically, is there any objection to adding those words, to amending this budget amendment in that way? Hearing no objection, it has been amended as such, it is the way we read it up on there. So now we're back to the main motion.
No objection.
Okay. I earlier heard no objections to this amendment. Are there any objections to this amendment? All right, it's done. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's do it again. So we're just gonna say midday and 2%, and add Arthur's little, his little sprinkle. Sprinkles. How's that, Arthur? Yes, okay.
Sean Huckabee, SD 26. I move to approve a new line item, bid pay fees, to grow proportionally at a rate of 2% to income generated by that manner and to authorize its expenditure.
So you're changing it.
No, get this ready. Oh, yeah, okay, just
Read
making
exactly
sure.
what's on the screen.
Okay,
I'm changing it so that we don't have to do amendments.
Perfect.
Second.
Emily, second. Any objection to this amendment? Hearing no objection, there is no such thing.
I move that we, edit the proposed amendment to say bid pay with parentheses or similar competitor, which gives the treasurer the flexibility to switch vendors if necessary.
Thank you. Actually, thank you. I do. You found a friend. Oh, it just doesn't find
I mean,
me.
in spirit is,
Found your own
yeah.
That's pretty good.
Alright, so we've got a motion to amend this, basically adding, sort of qualifying that we're not just limited to bid pay, this can apply if we choose to change vendors as well. Did someone second that?
yes.
Okay. Alright, so at this point, we're voting only on adding Elliott's amendment, which is, allowing us to switch providers if necessary. Are there any objections to that amendment? Hearing no objections, it has been amended. And we're back to the main motion, which is to add this new line item, bid pay fees, bid pay or similar competitor. To grow proportionally at a rate of 2%. Any objections to adding that? No objections, motion passes. You have all the right.
Thank you for helping me clean that up.
Yes.
Excuse me very much, real quick, note that John Wilford is here.
Has entered the building.
Just a public service announcement in case you haven't already figured it out. The restrooms that you can use over down here are actually behind the hotel registration desk. So if you pass the hotel, go through the lobby, then go behind the hotel registration desk, and there's a corridor back there with the restrooms. There are some closer, but they keep them locked for some reason.
Oh, and I guess the other thing I forgot to mention on my church report is Andrew and I are working with the donor appreciation program so we can get it done and finalized, and I'm working with him, and we're now bringing on Carter Fanning to help us with designs on the pins, so we can try to get that wrapped up, and you guys can get your goodies, and we can use it as a tool to bring in more donors or to entice donors to keep donating. So we are going to we hope to have that design ordered and everything by the end of the year, which he will elaborate on more, but I am working with the two of them to get that project completed, so we can have it. Believe it or not, I think that's it for me. Does anybody have any questions? All right, Brittany.
The George Urbanson airfare, is that your button?
any more than necessary.
Any other questions for the treasurer?
All right, that's it for me then.
Okay, moving on to staff reports. I'll just briefly cover the CRM as I touched on earlier. As you all know, we were in the process of moving over to the national CRM, and which is basically the database and the clearinghouse of all of our member data, supporter data, donor data, etc., as it relates to Texas people. And also it includes a platform for building a website and all the things that go into that. We put that on hold after a state affiliate had some issues, and because it made me realize that there are questions about what happens if there is breakdown at the state affiliate level and people are confused about who actually is in charge and who actually is authorized to access that data. So I have been waiting and choosing not to put the second largest state on that CRM until we have that ironed out. And at this point, we have something that is being referred to as a Memorandum of Understanding. It is not a user agreement, which is what I would prefer, but that's what we're looking at right now. Most of the state affiliates don't seem to care about it. They signed on without any of that. I wasn't going to do that. I'm still not going to do that. I have put the Memorandum of Understanding as it's currently drafted in the forum for you last week, I believe. Gotten some feedback on that, lots of technical questions that I'm not able to answer. But I will continue to sort that out, and hopefully within the next couple weeks we will restart the transition over to the national CRM. And I'll just update you as we go. But please check out the forum, read through that document, see if there's anything missing, and also understand that we are not going to be able to get that thing perfect. And it represents something that is greater than 0, which is what existed before. Okay, so it's not going to be perfect. We want to move forward. We just need to make sure that we've got some loopholes covered. All right, with that, Nathan Watts is here. I'm not going to present his report. It is in the forum as well. I think, is it on the screen? Okay. Watts, yes. Yes.
As a member of the affiliate team,
Okay.
I mean, I just address a couple of things that we've been talking about. So Arthur and I are on the affiliate team. Just to reiterate, because of the involvement in interviewing new candidates and bringing them on board again, bringing them up to speed, ideally, if you know anybody in an unaffiliated county who is interested in being county chair, strongly encourage them to fill out the application this month, because definitely after the end of the year, there's not going to be time to onboard them and everything. So if you know of somebody who's wanting to, or even slightly interested in becoming a county chair, or you know somebody who in an unaffiliated county wants to become county chair, encourage them to email counties at lptexas.org or affiliate team at lptexas.org so that we can answer any questions they have. So they want to go and fill out the application, of course that's online too. So there is that time crunch there. The other thing that we've been talking about, and maybe we'll talk about this up today, is this is probably better addressed with the rules committee. We have an issue of, in a couple of cases, of temporary county chairs who, since appointment, have gone dark. So they've been hard to reach, and there's actually libertarians in those counties, or libertarian-minded people who are interested in getting things done, but they can't reach the people who were previously appointed as temporary county chairs. There's nothing, as far as I know, in our rules that addresses what happens after we appoint a temporary county chair and we can't reach them, whether it's because of we have one where there's a health issue involved, but then there's a couple we just haven't been able to reach by phone. So ideally, at like convention time, it would be nice if we had a rule that we could vote on, something in the that could address that situation, so that we could remove someone after a certain number of attempts that has been unable to be reached, so that people who are wanting to be active and wanting to, keep that county from, falling into attrition, that could be involved with that.
And will you do me a favor before anybody speaks?
I'll try to, when I call on them, do that.
We do have such a rule. need to know about it. If we're not told that someone's gone dark, and there's reasons to remove this person's temporary chair, then we can't act on it. So I would like to see a report of those people who won't even respond, but for whatever reason, SLEC needs to decide if we remove that person and let the chair appoint another one or not.
I actually don't recall, we do have a list of counties, make the reports that are consented. I just don't recall, were all of them temporary county chairs, do you remember, or was it next?
There's Connor Cudmore, who's on our team, has also been reaching out. There's a couple of established county chairs who've been unresponsive as well. I don't know how active those counties are, and it's also because they have bylaws. There's probably mechanisms. I know what happened in Jefferson County when there's no county chair there. That was done through the bylaws to replace the county executive committee members who weren't participating anymore. But obviously when a temporary county chair exists, they don't have the bylaws in place, and so that's. So to answer your question, I don't know if there's a mechanism for at the state level to remove a county chair and establish elected county chair by the county in that fashion. So.
Michael Henson, I'm not sure what your district is.
I just want to, I would like to advise caution talking about this. At any point we take action for the counties are, and then for all intents and purposes, and have the power of this body to separate a county from one another, or to oppose whoever's in charge of that county is rather strong. I would just advise caution.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, with the exception of the ones who are still temporary appointees.
Correct.
Request for information.
Yes.
For those of us who aren't, do we know the rule that allows us to do that?
I would have to look it up.
To remove the, and it's, thank you.
If they're a temporary county chair, we can basically just vote to remove them. Right at any time. I will say that in the affiliate team, we talked about potentially presenting those to the committee, but they didn't want a vacation, and the timing of when we had that list was not good. We just thought it was too soon. So we might bring it up if we need to.
Yes, we can always address on the forum as well. So.
And is there a rule if they are not temporary county chairs?
If they're a permanent county chair, we don't have, our bylaws are silent on that currently. So that would, we'd have to figure that out.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
What we could do, there's a way to not acknowledge their bylaws, and that's sort of a bypass. But in the spirit of, to answer the question, the spirit of SLEC can always review anything that the chair does, any decision of the chair. So appointing a county chair is a decision of the chair. In the spirit of that, SLEC can always oversee that and basically overturn the decision of the chair. That's just Roberts.
Anyone else wishing to speak on this?
Yes. John Wilford, S212. I found this in a weird place now. I think we've kind of fallen into the issue of debating a motion that doesn't exist. I do guess I want to express a slight difference of opinion with one of the speakers and say that I don't believe it's the case that counties are independent from the state organization. More, I believe it's the case that the state organization is independent from the national organization. We exist directly as an affiliate of the national organization. If the national organization didn't exist, we would have to form something new that wasn't part of the Libertarian Party entity. Same with counties, they exist as an extension of our organization. And as a party, we're gonna have to make decisions about where that reach extends, and I think with the upcoming rules proposal, that will be, discussed on the convention floor. But I would encourage, I just want to say on the record that it is our job to manage this party from the state level down, and I do think that we need to take some responsibility in that and not just say, well, they're their own thing, so we don't really have any part of that.
While I recognize what Mr. Wilford's saying, I would disagree. We exist as an extension of the county party.
Who is speaking now?
Okay.
This convention we have tonight exists without the county party getting together first.
All right. Chris, you guys something?
Randy Burns, ST9, I would suggest that discussing this in such simplistic terms is not, doesn't do justice for what we're doing. It's cooperation, it goes both ways. We should consider that. And when we consider these issues, that we do need each other, and of course, we all want to protect our name in public eye, because that's ultimately the customers that we're trying to serve, the customer potential voters. So, just maybe we can put that in mind.
All right, are there any further questions related to the report that Nathan Watson have given, or anything related to the county affiliates? We can also move those over to the forum and give Nathan an opportunity to weigh in as well when he is feeling better. Oh, yes, our current county affiliate count is 73. Going into last convention, we had 88, and I'm pretty sure we lost half.
88.
Like, because they just didn't, I don't expect the attrition to be that high this time, thanks to the team that's been working, as liaisons for these folks, and of course to Nathan. And I think the process that we're using now to bring these people on board is thorough enough that hopefully it kind of screens them out early on if they don't see themselves carrying it through in the first place. So we can come back and sort of evaluate this process later, but I expect the maintenance rate to be much higher. So thank you to you guys for trying to keep those people on board. All right, moving on. Communications.
This will not take 20 minutes. And just a bit of housekeeping beforehand. You guys see me running around with the microphones. If you guys could do me a huge favor, I've got a kind of a Dias mic up here for the officers and the speakers that we can pick up really, really well. But when you guys are speaking or making motions and stuff like that, if we could pass around the microphone that Joe Roberts has right now, and you don't have to speak right into it. It picks up a nice, 4 or 5 feet away. Set it on the table in front of you when you're speaking. So just pass it to the next person. Go and grab it before you start speaking. I really appreciate that. That way I don't have to look like an asshole walking around. Anymore. Too late.
Just for other reasons.
And yeah, lots of so you guys had a chance, hopefully, to review this. This last quarter was another great quarter for the communications department as far as growth and as far as expanding the department. In fact, we brought on Tyler Rittenbach. I don't think he was able to make it today, but he is now handling all of our Facebook stuff. So he has taken over on the Facebook moderators team, and he is also running the page, the day-to-day operations of the page. What you're going to notice too on the page is, and I mentioned this in the last report, we have a little more easeability. It's a little easier right now for us to comment as the party on other posts. So if Governor Abbott posts something, it's real easy right now for us to post as LP Texas, which is great for engagement. It's great for us to actually be sharing our viewpoints and our perspectives to an audience that maybe isn't subscribed to us or doesn't follow us and see our posts from day to day. So that's a great thing that has changed recently, and Tyler is well aware of that new opportunity for us. As far as Twitter goes, Twitter's doing as good as it's been doing all year. The growth rates are, let's go down just a little bit if you guys want to see them. Just a little further up. There we go. You can see our growth rates on Twitter, 126% for the year, 170% on Instagram, 11% on the Facebook page, 15% on the Facebook group. This is all well within what I started projecting back in like April, May timeframe. Some of them are a little inflated because they weren't being utilized when I took over at the beginning of the year. And then obviously when you start from zero, your growth rates are nice and high. As far as going through the strategy on each one of those, I think I've done that kind of ad nauseum for this body so far, what my strategy is on each one. If you do have specific questions, and a lot of people have reached out to me, you know, hey, what are we trying to use the group for? What are we trying to use this TikTok channel for? What are we trying to use the Facebook page for? There is a little bit different strategy for each one, and so if you guys have specific questions, feel free to email me. That's the easiest way to reach out to me on those. Go ahead and scroll down just a little bit further. Keep going. All right, so Clubhouse. It has been brought up so many times that we need our own club or our own house. Our own house. This is something that I personally currently, I just didn't have the bandwidth to be putting on something every week, you know, an AMA or bringing on a guest speaker and something like that. I will say my personal life has slowed down a little bit will slow down as of next week. And so we do have somebody still, they're still able to host that for us, right, in the house. So we will be establishing a house next week, or in the next week or so, I should say. I don't know how long that process is. And I would love to see lots of participation from this body right here on the house, right? Because we have 45,000 followers on Facebook. We have 23,000 followers on Twitter. They look to us as the leadership of the party. And so when we get on there and we're speaking about topics and events and things that are going on, we're speaking as a member of LP Texas and as a representative of this party. And so I would love to see each one of you guys on there from time to time when the club is open. I really wish I knew more about what I'm talking about. When the club is active, I guess, when we're hosting something, I would love to see all of you guys being active on there and engaging with all the followers and people that are just libertarian curious. Almost sounds like a fan status. I'm libertarian.
Libertarian curious.
All right, go ahead, just go down a little bit. We did mention the CRM. This is something that has been mentioned by Whitney that we are looking into changing. Scroll up, sorry.
No, other direction. There you go.
We have had some email issues recently. We got locked out of our email account. We have a super high bounce rate right now, and a lot of that still has to do with lack of maintaining our data over the years. There's a lot of records in there that just aren't great. And so when you start sending a lot of emails to a bunch of email addresses that either bounce or go into the spam folder or get reported as spam, your domain as the sender gets flagged, and a lot of times you get a much higher bounce rate. We are, if and when we switch CRMs, that will be rectified almost on its own. Say all that. Keep going down. Department needs. I have 3 positions. I do have somebody that I'm in the interview process with right now. I still want somebody to take over our Instagram account full time, somebody that's creative, that likes memes. I tend to find memes work the best on Instagram. They're not so great, obviously, on Twitter or TikTok or any of the other social media accounts we have, but Instagram, that's a great place for that. So somebody that's able to just post 3-4 times a week on our Instagram account, and then also be able to keep up with the comments, because the comments can get a little hairy sometimes, and we've got to make sure that we're moderating that and responding to that appropriately. TikTok manager, somebody that's about half my age, perfect. Maybe a third. I am not, okay, so I've mentioned this now, this is almost become an old joke, but I am a TikTok addict because I was exploring this just for this purpose. And now I find myself watching construction videos and all sorts of stuff I never thought I was interested in. And again, a YouTube creator, so I need somebody with a little more technical savvy that could help us maybe do some training videos, some informational videos, some creative whiteboard type stuff. We can talk about platform positions, we can talk about affiliate affiliation process and things like that, just to have some training information. All right, I said I wouldn't take my full 20 minutes, so I'm going to hold true to that, but I am going to open it up for some questions. If you could use the mic, that way people that are, oh, we're doing the live stream, by the way, too, so that's something else that the communications department's doing.
Does anybody have questions?
Arthur knows.
Were you just prepared to give?
I saw him raise his hand.
You said the email, I think you meant the broadcaster component of Nation Builder.
That's exactly.
Are we still locked out of it? Like right now?
I could broadcast right now if I want to send an email up. We were out for about a week.
Okay. And yes, issues that students found out. And the other thing, which isn't part of your report, but it's the part, we have for Nation Builder, we're paying for phones, an extra like $9 a month for phones, and for texting, and I don't.
For SMS.
Plan to use that at all?
With Nation Builder, what I found is our plan doesn't cover a ton of SMS messages.
Yeah,
I don't know the exact numbers because we don't really utilize it. But in the future, if we can find a more price competitive plan, I do think that's something we should utilize.
I do think there's other services out there.
Exactly.
I just don't know the timeline of the CRA rollout. So I just commented that we potentially dropped that $9 a month right now. It's not a huge cost. We would say $9.
Are we able to, with our plan, take off line items?
Call them again.
We would have to find out if we can take off line items.
I think it's an add-on.
Okay.
The plan we have, last time I talked to them, is a bulk plan. It's a package. It's not, we didn't do any a la carte services. So I'm not sure that that could be removed in the plan. There's an add-on to add more of it or to expand that particular option. But
We don't have the price they're offering it, though it's not.
yeah, I'll have to check with those. Any other questions?
I was just gonna comment very quickly that, if I remember correctly, the base package did come with a small number of text, which is why it's the number that is not useful for us unless it's like maybe kind of tell people like convention is starting, you know, get or whatever.
Yes.
And that is our current base package, and to get the number that will be more useful to us, that's where the add-on comes.
Am I going to mention Shopify during the
Proposed
budget? During the budget.
Proposed, yes.
You guys have questions about our online store that we'll be bringing up? We'll talk about it during the budget.
I want to say with regard to the 3 positions that you mentioned wanting to fill, those don't actually exist right now. Like, we don't have applications specifically for those positions. However, if you know someone who's interested, they can go into the application system and just pick the thing that's closest and make sure they explain in their, in the part where it says, why are you doing this? What is wrong with you? They can explain their. Yes, something like, maybe it is,
They're all
okay, so just make sure that when they go in there, they specify, even if the title that they're applying for in the system is not exact, they can just kind of specify the role that they want to play, and we will make adjustments. That's the whole point of this whole recruitment, mindset of trying to find people who have skills and have a history of excellence that we can draw from, and then we can find the appropriate spots for them to provide those services. So just don't let the fact that there's not a specific TikTok position listed there, don't let that stop someone from applying. Yeah. Any other questions for communications?
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, the Development Department, and you're in like 30 minutes. You are welcome to take the whole 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We are an hour and a half ahead.
Nathan, does it mess you up if I go stand over here where it's like?
Totally. But I can move the mic.
You know. Yeah, I don't get to start mine by
by saying, I'm not gonna take my full 30 minutes because I'm gonna. Sorry, buckle up, we're gonna take a ride. The good news is that we're continuing to build membership and build donations. Of course, donations went through the roof with the lifetime membership, so that's cool. Thank y'all very much. But y'all that have come on board with lifetime members, I expect that to keep going as well into the new year as it has been. I hope that's the plan. Most of I'm not going to get deep in the details here because it's all on the report that's on Ignite. It's on the forum. If you want the details behind the summary, then that information is out there.
Stay in one place.
What?
Stay in one place.
So if you want the details,
There are 4 very
you
interested
can't
people
you
watching.
don't have access to
This is
What?
probably in here right now.
Sorry, I mean it's
They're all
okay.
Desiree house.
And your report's up there.
Oh, okay, cool. So if you can read that, but, then you'll know that we are, we're up to over 400 members and growing all the time, which is really cool. The membership income currently annualizes at over $100,000 a year, so that's pretty cool. And I don't really know why that would slow down coming into an election year when we have people really interested in what we have to say and the candidates we're running, so that I hope that will just keep going. Moving into 22. I have 25 lifetime members listed on the report. That's pretty cool. That represents 37.5 of income. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. And I'm not going to do the by name thing, but you can see who all of that includes. Some geeky stuff. I was just kind of playing around because the question was presented, but if these donors, they become lifetime members, that means we're not going to be giving them monthly membership, and maybe that's going to cost us ongoing income, and I don't know. Maybe it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to have somebody pay $1,500. So this is just one way of looking at it, but this is what has happened so far. The 25. See, I said I was going to stay over here and read my thing, and of the 25 members we have, you can see what the breakdown is of who came in. Obviously, predictably, we had some platinum and gold members who made this change. But no, none of those people are going away. None of those people are going to quit giving money to the party. None of those people are going to suddenly decide they don't want to give any money because they became lifetime members, so they're retired now as a donor. That's not happening. In the meantime, the good news is we brought in a bunch of people, including 2 new guys. I don't even know who they are, but way to go, guys. They weren't donors before, and now they are. We've got an annual basic donor that stepped up to lifetime. So we've created an opportunity for people who want to, A, write a big check. I love that part. And B, more importantly, identify themselves and their commitment to the Libertarian Party as a lifetime commitment. And that's the coolest, that's the better part of it, right? So we have 25 people that said we're here for the long haul, and we're gonna keep doing this no matter what, and that's cool. We want to build on that energy a lot. Even better than the fact that many of our lifetime donors either were giving not as much or none to the party before they became lifetime donors are the 12 lifetime members who said, I'm not going to stop my monthly donation, just let it run, and I'll keep supporting the party monthly as well as my lifetime donorship. So I've got them listed. Yeah, give those people a name because that's really cool. I confess I did not do that. I cut off my monthly donation.
I did too.
It's just, but I haven't quit doing money part, so it's going to work out. And if you're envious and you would like to be a lifetime member too, it's not too late to get in on the $1,500 introductory transitional. Everybody's got the number 1,500 in their head because that's what National does. We've got till the end of the year to do that, so feel free to come up to me after the meeting and let me know that you too want to become a lifetime donor, like some people did in August. And if not, fine. We're all libertarians. You do you. As of the first of the year, we're going to go to 1836 as per the original adoption of our special Texas lifetime membership. 1836, duh. That's going to be the price for the new lifetime membership. And one of the ways we're going to break that transition, or we're going to make that transition. Whitney mentioned earlier the Texas Gold, now formerly known as Vote Texas Gold Group, formerly known as the Joe Jorgensen campaign, for, you know, but kind of a carry-on of that initiative. And they are in the process, and I've confirmed with you that that still is happening. They're putting together a 50th anniversary celebration. It'll be a multi-day kind of weekend thing going on in the third week of January, whatever it is, January 21, 2022. January 21 is the 50th anniversary of the founding of LP Texas. The national organization had its shindig in August, but there will be something happening in January. It's still being put together, sponsors are still being arranged. But between basically now and the end of January, whoever is interested in becoming a lifetime member at the price of $18.36, or if you already signed up at $1,500 and you want to just step up with that extra $336, first up to 50 people that become lifetime members at $18.36 are going to get a commemorative gold coin that will say 50th anniversary on it. We got a lot of people looking forward to that. Kind of wait until, well, I'm going to do 1830-60. You know, you guys just get this done, and I'm in. So think about that if you're thinking about becoming a lifetime member at all. And we'll talk more about that as we get into the budget considerations, because we have to pay for all this. Fortunately, we have $37,500 to pay for, you know, to start by paying for some of these donor. We're going to start by appreciating some of our donors with some of the new income that we have. I hope that makes sense to y'all. Let's see here. I think I can skip that. Yeah, might as well get into it. The question presented that we're going to talk about more this afternoon, Kate alluded to it already, has to do with our membership benefits or donor appreciation program that we talked about earlier this year. The idea being that whether you perceive this, member benefits kind of puts more of that spin on it, like we're trying to bribe people to become members of the party by offering them a t-shirt or a water bottle or something like that. Donor appreciation puts a little bit more of the like gratitude, like, hey, you became a new member of the Libertarian Party. We're glad you're here. Here's something. So SLEC approved at Bastrop, I think, February meeting, the donor appreciation program is based on the idea that there would be some intro, membership card, a bumper sticker, something kind of say welcome aboard, put in a little more money, you get a tote bag, now you have some branded merch to carry around your stuff in, and then from there we switch to a pen-based tiered system that the more money you give the party cumulatively, you run through 5 levels, I think, topping out at the Lone Star of Liberty, which would sort of be our version of like the National Lifetime Pin. Like that would be the coolest pin you could get from LP Texas. That was all, a budget for that was approved in February. We had a couple setbacks trying to engage a designer and kind of get that whole program started, but we are underway now and moving forward with that. In the meantime, we added a lifetime membership that didn't even exist back in February. So the initial program and the initial approval from February was based on assumptions that had been overtaken by events. Like we're in a different zone now. We're playing a different game. The other thing that has happened along that line, besides figuring out how we want to appreciate our lifetime donors, is I would like to add to the initial, the sign-on, the hey, welcome to Libertarian Party Texas, a member brochure that we'll talk about more. I'll post some stuff on the forum at some point. But basically, just a booklet that would have some information on Libertarian Party of Texas, welcome here, some key principles, maybe our platform. That's in the pipeline now. We're early conversations are underway in terms of what that would look like and how we would assemble that. But that would be a way also to package that with their membership card and their bumper sticker or window sticker, all of which is being designed right now as kind of a welcome aboard package, a way to get going and a way to stimulate engagement by pointing out ways that you can connect with your county leadership or become a volunteer at the state level or become a donor or whatever. So a way to start onboarding our new members with a little bit of a kick in the pants, a little bit of a boost. So all of that, the bad news. The good news is we have a bunch of donors to appreciate. The bad news is it takes money to reward these donors for the things that they've done for us and for becoming a member of our political party. So the way that works, and we'll hit a glitch here where I hope somebody will help me out. What I had planned after talking with our beloved state treasurer, AKA Iron Cape.
Shakedown cake.
Shakedown cake. Yeah, that's really better. It depends on your perspective, I guess. We had asked, those of y'all that have seen the proposed budget for 22, know we were asking for more money from member benefits. Remember, this is a nice problem to have. Any money spent by the development department is a fraction of money we're bringing in. More money spent means much more money coming in. So this shouldn't be a stretch, but I'm going to take whatever questions you have for me here in a minute. A couple of things. Number one, we have this whole lifetime program. The original proposal on that was to, as a symbolic or as a gratitude piece for that, would be a 1 ounce silver round. A lot of people really like that. And we have a design for that, and we're a quote that we like, and we're basically ready to move forward on that. Details are in the report. We also have the plan for this gold commemorative, limited edition, 50 only run. So that's all underway. And then we also have a design we're working on for a certificate. The Honorable Arthur Thomas, Senate District 26, not only is working on a design for that is the right district, right? Did I screw that up? Okay. Not only working on a design for a certificate, but which a lot of people like, but also that we're taking a hard look at that, and we want to do that right, and we want to make it look good, something you might be proud to have on your wall, because it will also serve as evidence. This is something you would want to keep around as evidence that you are in fact a lifetime member. We've had some issues over the years with the appearance and disappearance of a lifetime membership in Elkie, Texas, and then it's kind of like, well, does anybody remember who became a lifetime back then? So this is one way we can sort of insure against that and make sure that everybody knows and can see and has proof, that they're a lifetime member. So all of that to say, and then the one other thing I need to mention is, has anybody noticed that prices have been going up lately? Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but between the inflation and the growth in membership, we have twice as many members as we had back in February. The original estimates for what we would spend on these bumper stickers and pins and stuff is not going to be sufficient. So we need more money if we're going to do this thing that we said we wanted to do, appreciate our donors. Anybody object to appreciating our donors? Like, we may disagree on how to get there or how much we appreciate them, but fundamentally, we want to show our donors some love, right? And some gratitude. So, and that will help us get more donors when they see how well we treat our existing donors. So we've got that going for us, but we need money to pay for this stuff. We have a $2,200, it's $2,175 in the motion, but it ended up on the budget as $2,200, $25. We're in the zone. Originally allocated for the original conception of the donor appreciation program. I had a discretionary budget for this year of $5,000, of which we barely touched. We sent out one fundraising letter. It was wildly successful, but it only cost a few $100. So I have most of $5,000 available for discretionary. But we are asking for $10,000 in the budget we'll be discussing this afternoon to cover ongoing member benefits. And again, remember, like, this is a good problem to have. If we're busting the budget on donor appreciation, it's because we have a lot more money coming in than we thought we were going to have when we originally set the budget for donor appreciation. That's not a bad thing, guys. So help me here. Help me help you raise more money for LP Texas by showing our donors some love. Now, here's where it gets a little bit dicey, and we may need a little conversation on this, is because my original conception is, I got this, I'm just gonna massage this where I'll spend all my money for 2021, in 2021, and then I'll need more money in 2022 to finish this. And this is all lined out in the report. I have a scheme here. It's a beautiful scheme. I love this scheme, where I spend all but a few $100 for 2021 in the allocated budget, end with a surplus, go to the development department. And then I spend most of that 10 in the next year, following up on that, and end up maybe with $1,000 in donor appreciation that's not spent, and the discretionary budget is not touched on this plan. Like, I had all that mapped out. And then I talked to Kate. And so I'm throwing totally, the bump sound you hear is Kate being thrown under the bus. But that's her job. She's the treasurer. It's her job to make sure we do this right and do it well. And so what I would ask y'all to do to help us get this party started would be to consider a motion to amend the 2021 budget. Remember, we have 37.5 of income we didn't have on the budget. Just a reminder in case anybody missed that earlier. But wanted to see if we could add $5,000 to the donor appreciation program for 2021 and an expense authorization so that we can actually spend money to go ahead and get this thing going in the way we'd like to get. Hang on just a second, because the end of that is, if you don't like that idea, then we can just sit on it until January, you know, and get some stuff going in. But we have a lot of momentum now. We finally, there's a lot of good stuff happening. The lifetime donations were a huge shot in the arm. We have coin basically designed, just waiting on some final sign-off stuff. We have certificate very close to being designed. We have pins underway, booklets underway. Like, all of this stuff is in motion now. So help us keep the momentum up and hit 2022 hard. And what it does is it more properly matches, for those of you that are into accounting, it more properly matches the expense of the money with the income that we're basing it on. Like, we have these donations coming in 2021. Let's recognize these donors in 2021 out of the 2021 budget. And we clearly have the money to do that. So it's either that or push the expenses off into 2022, show I guess the correct word is artificially enhanced income, net income for 2021, but then we'll have to pay for those donations in 2022. So there's no percentage there. So that's the lay of the land, I guess. And I know Elliot has a question, but do you want to add? I'll get there. Do you want to add anything to that?
Yes, so it was me who came up and said, no, let's just spend the money. I'd rather ask SLEC permission to go ahead and ask for more money to spend this year, because the money was made this year. I would like to see it spent this year. Not to mention, we don't want to screech to a halt waiting for 2022 budget. The money is going to get spent. The money is going to get spent. Do you want to spend it in 2021 where everything looks good, look-wise, but also we can continue with the momentum? Or do you want to come to a screeching halt in 2022 and the money's still going to get spent? So my recommendation is to go ahead and authorize the addition for the expenditure that we need in order to finish the DAP and the lifetime membership benefits for this year. Please don't slam on the brakes. Let us continue doing the work, because the work's going to get done, the money's going to get spent. So let's just be efficient about it. That's all I'm asking.
Mr. Sherman?
Just had a question for clarification. Are you asking for 15,000 total, or 5,000 now, and 10,000, and another 5,000?
See, people would pay attention.
Okay, can I say? Okay, so the best way I want you guys to approach this, don't even look at 2022. Pretend 2022 doesn't exist yet. Let's look at 2021. Don't think about that $10,000 in 2022. Yeah, we're only.
Ideal total, or I'm not negative.
I think $5,000 increase on the line item
Right,
for this year.
yes.
I understand that.
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you that's the treasurer's answer, which has to do with keeping good books. The development department's answer is, of course I'd rather have $15,000. Because that, again, nothing in development gets spent unless we're either sending out letters or holding events that are gonna raise money, or giving a small fraction of what our donor gave us back to them in the form of some kind of recognition. So this is not operating budget stuff here. We don't have to try to conceptualize like, well, if we spend this much money on political action, how many more votes do you think we're gonna get? Or do you think more people will like us if we run this ad? Like there's a lot of subjective stuff that goes into justifying operating expenses. This is all money-making expenses. So generally, I mean, I agree with, hey, don't think about 2022 too hard yet, but it's kind of academic in the sense that if we set it too low and I have to come back and ask for more budget money in 22, it'll be because we're making a bunch of money and y'all will be happy to give it to. Or if we leave it the way it is and do like an increase 5 now and when we get to the 2022 budget, we'll revisit this conversation. If we want to leave it at 10, and it fits and it works in the budget and that makes sense based on our projected income, it's a no-brainer because it's not going to leave. Kate's not going to let me spend it. Whitney's not going to let me spend it unless I can map it to income that is coming into the park. So it's totally objective as opposed to kind of I don't know, should we spend this money or not? Yes, because we're going to make a whole bunch of money.
Michael Hanson, are you asking for this motion at this moment, or do you want it later in the budget discussion?
Yeah, now, because it's 2021 business. Okay.
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 Yes.
So, Michael Hanson, will you please repeat your motion? Not just say so moved.
What?
We need to list.
What's the line item one?
Yeah. What Michael said was he moved that we increase the development department budget line item for donor rewards program by $5,000 to the amount of $7,200 and authorize the expense of those funds.
That's exactly what I said.
That's what I heard.
5,000 by
So the 2021 budget,
And specifically to the 2021.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
So I would just say, move to increase the 2021 development department.
Alright, so we've got a motion to increase the 2021 development department budget for donor rewards program by $5,000, bringing it to $7,200, and to authorize the expenditures. What? Did you hear that?
Is this accurately reflect what we're looking at?
Alright, and it what's that?
Is this accurate, what I just typed?
Except that.
Well, okay, I can fix spellings like accurate.
Okay, so this motion has been made and seconded.
As the end.
That's what I was
It
trying
was
to
seconded by Kevin Hale, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
And are there any objections to this? Hearing no objections, it is adopted.
Good job, guys. Well, then I didn't use something.
Yes, well, to take the time.
I'm right. Does anybody have any other questions, or maybe I should just take advantage of this
Do you want
opportunity?
any other money?
Oh, I'm gonna throw it. Send that in, I need a little bit.
Thank you.
So,
Remember request from the gallery?
yeah, we were gonna have to just.
Yeah, I don't care, how do we? I just wanna add 5 minutes, so we're good.
I'm gonna do it now. Hang on one second. So, Kate had something she wanted to just add for your reference to what she presented earlier in the treasurer's report, so we'll just do that real quick and then we can choose to slide up to the next item before lunch, because we're an hour ahead. Are you ready or no?
I am, I just, I don't know how, if we're gonna, I want people to be able to see this as a visual. No, okay, crap. No.
We don't have goggles, you can borrow.
A certain kind of cable.
I don't know if there's. I've got a US.
You got a dongle situation?
Start dongle situation, I can help. Yeah, I've got a micro.
Does anybody have USB-C to HDMI? Dongle or
Is it something you can?
How about you just
I can try, something I was operating on, and I was trying to find.
any gentleman with a dongle in the house?
My wife will be happy you want to know.
While we're at ease here for a second, while we sort out the technical situation, are there any objections to hearing from Jenny Moore, who is also one of our staff members and in the gallery with us today? All right, go ahead.
Thank you. It's a very tiny thing, but I get to see all the numbers, and I just want y'all to know that just because Mayor Emily is no longer with the owner, is 3 members of his household who are
We already used Mr. Brown, so is there something to share?
I just want to suggest, so far now on the agenda, that we should take like a 15-minute break and just finish the agenda, probably adjourn by
Hold on a second. You're saying finish the agenda without going to lunch?
We're so far ahead.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. We can move up some things, sure, but we're not gonna move up the entire agenda. But thank you.
Yeah, the budget. That's extremely optimistic.
Yes, we will also be taking a break. Should we do our break now while you're looking?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
that's fine.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. Just 10-minute recess. Be back at 10:45.
It's not gonna look pretty, but you guys will look pretty.
I was gonna say, we're going smooth enough, wait till you see the actual.
We don't know. Let's just talk about this. I don't think it was done. I can't actually what happened was, okay, you mentioned that words in it's in SLEC Discord. They're not gonna agree. I hate to say you're probably gonna have to call this tonight, but we can make a point.
department report up before lunch. And whether we finish it or not, we can sort of break from there at 11:30, go to lunch, and then continue with the best department report after. Instead of saving all this.
We need that to be back, so.
All right, we are waiting for our secretary. Because it's on her computer now?
Yeah.
Ship everybody, so you just have to keep track, go gather them.
Or, y'all can open up the documents in the SLEC Discord that I sent.
Oh, there you go. So if you have your devices, go to the SLEC Discord. The document that you want us to see is there.
There's two of them, yeah. The 2019 budget and the 2020 budget. Okay. Oh, Rand, I promised. And I will not be taking questions for this.
Okay, do you want 2019 up?
2019 first.
Okay.
All right, so it doesn't look pretty because, well, honestly, 2019 was ugly. So maybe it's fitting for that. So like you see, you're gonna have your budget, you're gonna have your actual, where we ended up with 2019, and then you're gonna have the verified. That's because I did not have a single thing to do with 2019 at all, but I had to obviously use it for 2020 budgets and 2021 budget purposes. The K just says that I was able to find those expenses and verify it. And then, of course, the question marks means I had no freaking clue where that money came from or what it was allocated to, because there was nothing in our books that indicated. So if you quickly scroll and you just look at numbers going side by side, you're going to see, and if you just want to see the summary, obviously scroll all the way down to total income, total expenses, and net income. Soak that in. That was 2019. That was 2 years ago. We operated on a net loss.
Yeah.
Didn't even break 25,000 annual income. And that was a shoestring budget. That treasurer was not approving new expenses, new projects, nothing, because we didn't have the funds. And we still operated at a net loss. Well, there were some other things going on there, which I fixed, but we'll get into that with 2020. I want people to soak that in. Where we have come from in the course of less than 2 years. Where we are income, where we are expense. So when I hear people say, well, we should be here by now. This is where we are compared to where we came from. This is a mass amount of growth and a mass amount of efficiency in financial management. The next one is 2020. I came in on this one starting May 1st of 2020 because our treasurer had resigned due to the whole COVID thing. We didn't have the elections until August. She was not prepared to extend her term. So I came in May, and again, I was faced with a huge mess. And again, you can look that over, scroll it over. You're going to see, if you want to see, again, where we ended up with. She had predicted we were going to have a total income of $18,000 on a presidential election year.
Yeah.
And I don't blame her, because the history, and I have 2018 and 2017, but that's on reports. I did not do it all pretty like beforehand, because after seeing 2019, I did not want to go further down the rabbit hole. Nobody gave me enough drugs for that. And of course, total expenses, even that, we're looking at 40,000. We were prepared to be operating at a massive net loss at the end of 2020. Luckily, we ended up having a mass influx of income because we were able to really work on that presidential election year, bring in donations, and so we ended up coming in with a net income that was positive, which is really great. But if you look at it again, where we were expected to be in 2020 and what we did in a short time in 2020 with the pandemic, with the convention and all the mess that happened that we had to go through. Oh, I know. Still? Okay. and what we were able to do and salvage and fix in a short amount of time with everything that we dealt with in that period. And then, of course, if you are doing your homework and you're looking at where we are and how we're operating in 2021, and how pretty that looks, and how efficient it looks, and how many projects that we have gotten done this year compared to 2019 and 2020, everybody in this room should be really, really proud of what we have accomplished in a very short amount of time based on where we all came from. All of y'all were handed off the 2019 and 2020 numbers. Y'all have a lot to do with this success, especially the people who are still in this room and haven't, gone off some other place. So I really want to congratulate everybody here, but also just remember, especially new people who've come in here who maybe been a part of the party for less than a year and have certain expectations. You guys probably didn't see this. Now you do. Now you know where we came from and what we have all fought so hard to achieve in a short amount of time. So when we go into the 2022 budget and we're asking for more money, we need that hard work rewarded. We need to allow our staff to do the work that they are hired to do in order to benefit the party, bring in more funds, increase our reputation, and in turn, get more votes and get more elected officials under the Libertarian Party. So that's what I wanted to bring your attention. Chew it over lunch before we sit down and talk about 2022 budget proposals. All right? I'm not taking any questions, sorry. And that's all.
All right, where are we on time? So we're about half an hour ahead now. We've got political action slated for 40 minutes after lunch. We could bump that up now and not have enough time for it, come back and finish it. We could go to lunch early.
Would a motion be in order to move events to the next item that could fit between now and lunch?
Yes, that would be in order.
So moved.
Okay. Who's still moving and what is your motion?
Michael Hanson, 10 to 3:45.
Motion to suspend.
To move, or to amend
the agenda.
All right, we have a motion to amend the agenda to move the 20 minutes for events department to now.
Second.
Any objections to that motion?
Objection.
Okay, who moved it? Mr. Hanson, we have an objection. Would you like to speak to your motion?
I'm only looking towards the efficiency of time. Otherwise, if we don't want to do it, we don't want to do it.
Yes.
The base of my objection is I won't hear political action.
And we would be running out of time in the middle of that one anyway.
If it goes over, then so be it. That's fine.
Okay, so, all in favor, any further discussion on this? Anybody else want to speak for Mr. Wilker?
As this is a suspension of the rules of order to the agenda, I do not believe it's debatable. I know we've heard one from.
That's a good point, thank you. All right, so we will now move to a vote on suspension of the agenda to hear from the events department for 20 minutes prior to breaking for lunch. All in favor, raise your hand. And this requires 2/3, by the way. Oh, there's 2 officers there. Okay, so 31, the motion passes. All right, so we will now hear from the events department, and then political action will be after.
Oh, my name should be on.
No, that was from last time. I used it as a,
I just had. I thought I got
Well, greetings, everyone. My name is Timothy Martinez. You know me as the Director of Events. So excited to be here. I'm going to ask that you indulge me just for a moment. I'm going to jump into my report here. It shouldn't take long. But this is the final calendar event for the calendar year, final event for the calendar year meeting and our fundraiser. And this is the final fundraiser for, as I can foresee anyway, for this session of SLEC. So you guys have done a phenomenal job. Congratulations to you all. We've raised a ton of money, and not necessarily the events department, which is really cool. I want to get into that and talk about how we're doing across departments a healthy, united staff that I've never seen before. I've served this body now going on 10 years. So I wanted to kind of lead out by saying, while I've enjoyed everything I've served under, as far especially the chairs that I've had the privilege of serving under, I've never served under such a healthy and united group of officers, leading from the front, working, supporting, moving mountains for us, the staff, so that we can do the work. And I just want to thank you, ladies, for doing such a phenomenal job. I think what you're seeing in the trend of growth and what you're seeing in the trend of unity and actual traction is not an accident. It is directly related to the leadership we elected 2 years ago, or last year, and in 2020. And I have to say that anytime I've needed anything, anytime I've done anything, anytime I've had a roadblock, I could pick up the phone for any one of them, and they would answer, respond, and move mountains. For me personally, I know the other department leaders kind of feel the same way. And so I just wanted to say that if you're seeing something good, if you're seeing good things, well, it's from the top down. So I wanted to share that with you because we're about to get into, some of the future plans and what we're looking at down the road. So I just wanted to take a moment and just acknowledge that the hard work y'all are doing is paying off. Thank you. Like I said, this is the biggest and last fundraiser that we're going to do before the state convention tonight. So thank you to all of you who have supported that. Raising funds like this and putting on events like this is a tremendous amount of work. I've experienced some personal loss in the last few months. It's been a very, very tough season for me. And that's why my heart is full of gratitude to especially Kate and Becca, who have stepped up to help me finish this event, because I was just personally not able to carry the ball across the finish line. So thank you, Becca, for finishing the event tonight with Mr. Amash. It's great to have him here. He's going to be just a phenomenal guest tonight. So if you haven't bought your ticket yet, there's still an opportunity.
Very limited.
Very limited availability. There's still an opportunity to help raise funds by hanging out with Mr. Amash as well. Let's get into the event. Part of the goal for tonight's event, for this final fundraiser, looks a little different. There's some questions about the price tag, I understand. Was to bring a different kind of donor to hang out with us for this event, and we were able to do that. Some very special people have come to be a part of this evening. And that was how the event looks a little different. We've done it at a different kind of venue than we normally do. This isn't our normal airport Hilton vibe. This is a little bit more of an upscale. Not what it used to be, but the Derrick is still a nice venue. And it's been nice to see new donors, big donors, who will be here tonight, hanging out with us. And that's the kind of traction Events wants to put forward. If I can bring new donors for us to hang out with, then Mr. Emeling can squeeze them for some. Without growth, we're just sapping off each other for money, right? We're just kind of self-cannibalizing or cannibalizing ourselves. And so this idea of doing a different type of event, a much more grander event, and attracting donors. I've got donors from out of state coming tonight. So that's just, right? Yes, we have out-of-state donors coming tonight. So that's the type of growth, type of event. So it costs a little more, looks a little different, might not be as profitable, but the targets that we're hitting, so attract donors, grow the party, grow our reputation, those sort of secondary objectives are being hit, and we're knocking that out of the park. And so, again, I'm really looking forward to tonight's event. Thank you for all of you who bought tickets. I'm not planning on putting on a Q1 SLEC fundraiser or special event. I believe that we'll have, I fully anticipate a meeting, a SLEC meeting, leading up to state convention, that final one, but this is it. I won't be doing any more fundraisers. I'll be fully focused on convention and making sure that those details and goals are being set, hit. So just letting you know that we added Miss Jody Gold to the events department. Jody just hit the ground running in the same spirit of leadership that she's seen from your officers. Just ownership. What can I do? What do you need? Roll up my sleeves. I've got this. I've got that. Do you need that? Just that type of self motivation, the type of Jody, I would just say, managing nebulous circumstances, ambiguity. You just manage it really well, so thank you. It's been a phenomenal addition to the team. Excited to work with you at
We need more like her.
Yes, more like you, Jody. Yeah, an integral part of the team. The events department is still in need of a few more volunteers as we ramp up our focus on the 2022 convention. We've got a couple of applicants, or at least one applicant that I'm aware of in the Dallas area, which is helpful. So we'll be tapping on that shoulder soon, and we'll have a report about how that goes. So thank you for that. We have openings for a technical coordinator as well as an event, more event administrators. Event administrator is just general hands, just being available. You can do a lot of different things. Today, Jody's helping with coffee and drinks and tearing tickets. So just, we just need general hands. So always look, if you know somebody that would be useful to the events department and loves to be social and outgoing, send them our way. They can apply, just online. All right. So efforts are underway for Irving 2022. As you know, we've been delayed. Some of the staff have been having personal conflicts. That's me. And we're getting back on track. Yeah, all of us. Yeah, all of us on the events team have had some, a little bit of a time here, some fall and everything, but we're about to ramp back up, and we've been keeping our finger on the pulse there at the venue. Things are going well, but we fully anticipate to have our early bird tickets on sale Thanksgiving weekend. That's when you will see. That's when we believe we'll see an uptick in people showing interest in making their 2022 plans. And so Thanksgiving weekend, we'll have the early bird tickets on sale. That's our commitment. So expect that Thanksgiving week. If you're expecting that and a Cowboys win, I don't know. I don't feel about that. You can only commit to one. I think the lines have a good look. So I want to talk to you about my business, some of the money, what I would call the financial forecast for the convention. I wanted to put that in front of your eyes, just for some consideration, where we're at, what our financial planning looks like for the state convention. What I've done is in orange up here, probably a little bit harder to see there, but it's in the report. In orange, I have the 2020 numbers that we're going to be looking at, and then our 2022 predictions or forecasts, however you want to call it. So for 2020, in the events department, as far as fundraiser goes for the state convention, you guys that were in Big Spring, you know what that looked like. We sold 104 total tickets. That includes VIP tickets. That includes general admission. That includes lunch tickets, dinner tickets. I think there was like a VIP ticket. Those tickets. All in, total tickets sold. That's like heads, or whatever we call heads in beds. Butts on seats, right? Do you think about what that was in Big Spring? What we were going through? What challenges we faced to get 104 people to purchase tickets, change plans,
Not sleep or shower for 3 days.
Too soon. But when you're trying to forecast what our attendance will look like for the events, like how many people can we count on to buy tickets? Well, having done this for 10 years, is typically what we do. We'll sell about 75 lunch tickets and about 100 dinner tickets, regardless of the year, regardless of the talent that we brought in. It's just been my observation, my experience. So 104 is low, but we expect it to be. I'm predicting comfortably 150 tickets sold for 2022. With a gubernatorial year in Dallas, I believe we're seeing a lot of energy and traction around our party, around our conversations, around our debates internally and externally. I believe we'll attract easily 150 total tickets sold. So when you take the number and you look down at the next line, is the average ticket price. In Big Spring, was $284 average ticket sold. That's including the VIP, and when you average it all out, it's about $284 at 104 tickets. So law of averages works. It is science. It is something that works. It is something you can use for forecasting. I'm forecasting that with those same numbers, with a little bit of the spike, about a $250 average ticket price sold for 2022. So that's good, because what that would amount to is a forecast of $37,400 in tickets sold, which would pay for our convention, for the hotel. Right? If you know, I'll get into that. If you know what we're on the hook for with the hotel, I think it's $30,000 FD minimum. With taxes, I think it's like 37. I think it's somewhere there. I have it here somewhere. You can see in ticket sales sold prior to that, 2020, $28,615. Of course, we had an on-site fundraiser that year. It was just an ask. $3,760. That was probably people in this room that made that happen. So I'm going to forecast that. We're going to do something similar. So I forecast that conservatively about $3,500. Typically, what we'll get in an ask like that with our big donors at our big event. Now, there was an additional fundraiser last year that Kate kind of touched on, and that was that presidential Vote With Your Dollars fundraiser that we did. That raised a whopping $16,873.69. Not without some controversy. Yes. And that kind of gets to the idea of what it means to bring in creative ways that we can think of to bring in new donors. Those are out-of-state donors giving to the state party because they wanted their person to speak. That's a creative way to bring in new donors. We're not cannibalizing ourselves. Came with a little controversy, I understand. This year we want to do something similar. Now I don't know if it's a sumo wrestle-off between caucuses, which I'm in favor of.
Hear, hear.
Something to play off of that energy and do a judo flip on that. There's a lot of toxic debate sometimes that can, or there's a healthy debate that can get toxic is a better way to say it. And there's a lot of strong opinions, and we can fight each other, and we can be divided. So I want to look at a way to kind of judo flip that energy and raise money for us. That's how I see it. Every conflict is an opportunity. So we want to do something. I'm not going to be as aggressive as 16,000, so I put a conservative number on that at 8,000. I believe if I've got high-level caucus representatives in sumo wrestling outfits, and they are going head-to-head, I believe we can raise a ton of money. Amen. So that's the kind of creativity I want to bring to the state convention this year. Granted, it's a gubernatorial. Here, we don't have a candidate necessarily defined. I believe somebody has thrown in. I believe it's Sarwark Burns. Just saying. Yeah, if Sarwark and Burns would agree to do that to raise money, that would be a good.
Nick can do that.
Is this fair?
It would be bet with your dollars, vote with your betting dollars. I don't know what the illegal ramifications are for betting. Come on.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We're working on it.
So my projected total forecast for 2022, just state convention funds raised, is $48,900. I think it's a reason, if you look at it, the numbers are realistic. It's an achievable number. Am I on time?
I don't know, I'm asking.
Oh, 5 minutes? Excellent. Compared to the 49,000 that we actually realized in our COVID convention. I think I've parsed it down, I believe we'll blow that out of the water. I didn't set the bar low on purpose though. I want to be conservative and measured in the way that we're forecasting and thinking. After all, this is the money that the cherished money of our donors as we're talking. All right, spending, I've got a 30,000 FB minimum this year in order to host our convention and our fundraisers all together in $1 billion, get us a great rate, kind of maximize us. There's a $30,000 ask from the venue. I believe we've already covered that in ticket sales. And I've added an additional $10,000 in speaker fees, in photographer, in OPA vote, in some additional funds. So this is just the bare minimum. If we just did the bare minimum, had our convention, got some good photographer, some good speakers, did a bare minimum, I've got $10,000. $49,000 would be my total projected spending. You guys approved $75,000. We asked big, and we're gonna be very conservative in the way we spend, obviously. So $49,000 in total projected spending. If you look up my total realized income, or projected income, sorry, is $48,000. So we're right there. We're right there where it pays for itself. We don't tap into the convention savings account, and we're able to actually generate revenue depending on how our fundraisers do. So we've set ourselves up for another successful year, for another year of actually realizing income. That's what we want to do. The reason for that is that we have these killer events. We put on phenomenal conventions. We grow the party. We make the most of every opportunity. Then we set up people like Andrew Emlin and his staff and other departments that can eventually start finding ways to maximize donations. And then I can become just the person that spends it. And I don't have to worry about raising the money. Because really, an events department should never have been, it should never have been our primary income that we count on every year for convention to fill up our coffers. That is backwards. I should be attractional, and then the other department should be harvesting, right? So I'll set the bait when we're fishing for donors. I want to be that beautiful bait. Oh, it's a nice event. I'm hanging out with Justin. Cool. Oh, what are you twisting my arm for? So I get to be, the events department, we get to be the outgoing, nice, smiling faces, and then Andrew gets to come in and just milk every dollar.
In the best way.
So that we can do the work. It costs money to do this. Anyone that questions a volunteer organization like ours raising funds does not understand the reality of what it takes to go to Austin and make change. To go to the polls and realize that sea change that we want to see of yellow and gold. So in order to do that, I want to be putting our best foot forward, okay? So that's my report. I guess I'll open it up to questions if we have time. 2 minutes, so I will entertain questions for 2 minutes.
Good.
All right, hearing no questions, I'm going to close out my report. Oh.
Actually, I do want to give you a heads up. There's something that Andrew and I are probably going to take the 2022 proposal with the lifetime. I'm going to propose that 10% of lifetime income gets allocated to the convention budget in order to fund a lifetime member-only event that is hosted at convention every year. And 10% of that lifetime basically goes towards funding that event.
Yeah, like a VIP lounge or something.
Free to lifetime members only. And of course, it'll help other people want to pony up that lifetime, and then they'll get to enjoy it 2 years from then. So that is something I'm going to be proposing in the 2022 budget. It's basically paid for, but it does need to be allocated towards that budget to get spent for that. So that might be something that I might, we'll need to prepare to shift over a little bit.
Sure.
But to help convention and raise awareness and our reputation, and give the development department, Andrew and Jenny, more tools to get more money.
That's cool. I mean, I hope the language there is crafted well so that the spending is approved and all that. I hope crafting language is Elizabeth, did you?
I just want you to help me remember to talk to you about something for hopefully to be helpful for you for convention.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, you can find me around tonight. All right. Well, if not, any other questions? If there's no other questions, I'll see you guys tonight for our big fundraiser, and hope we have a great time.
If anyone still needs a ticket, find me, and we'll get square there.
All right, so that that is not enough time to get through the political action report. So is there any objections to breaking out and returning at, that meeting?
12:45.
12:45. Mr. Wilbur?
I move to amend to just return at 1.
Okay. Is there any objection to returning at 1? Good with that? All right, let's do it.
Just try to get back around here.
Okay, when we return 1 o'clock, this will be at 1 o'clock, we will hear from the post office.
Housekeeping, I will be asking the doors be locked until 1 o'clock. So the doors will be locked until 1 o'clock. You can leave your stuff, it will be safe, but also you won't be able to get back to it.
I was gonna say, that sounds like perfect for charging my laptop.
That's